Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katherine Young and I'm a creative. And today we are heading to the Minneapolis Vintage Market. That's right. And we are going to go shopping, check it out, and then we are going to do a battle of the vintage markets. Now, I have already gone to the Twin Cities Vintage Fest earlier. I did a video on that. I will link that up above here. But I do know they made some changes, so it'll be interesting to see what it's like this time. So this video is going to be the Battle of the Vintage Markets in the Twin Cities. So today is the Minneapolis Vintage Market. Now, this one is a little bit smaller than Twin Cities Vintage Fest. It also only has admission for early bird. After that, it's free general admission, which is awesome. This one does require proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test, which I do really actually appreciate. And also, this one looks like it still has like 80s and 90s vintage, but it looks like it might have more vintage that I'm interested in, older vintage, so that is really exciting to me. So let's head on over there. You're coming with me, and let's see who wins the Battle of the Vintage Markets. Walking in, the venue was very, very beautiful. It was a lot of natural light. It was just a beautiful venue for a vintage market, I thought. One of the very first vendors you saw really specialized in kind of this flannel shirt with pop culture icons kind of thing. So they definitely had a niche. They were definitely more of like an upcycle kind of booth, but it was pretty neat, but they definitely did their one thing. Right off the bat, I saw plus size racks, which was pretty cool. However, I noticed a lot of the plus size was modern pieces that had a vintage feel. Not all of it, of course. There was some vintage in there, but there was a lot of modern with a vintage feel to fill in that full plus size rack. Loved that 90s piece right there. Oof, super duper cute. Also thought this shirt was super cute. Love the sleeves on that. Very, very dramatic. And this piece too. Very much my favorite colors. Great 90s, 80s piece. But yeah, like something like this, I thought this was adorable. I could wear this. But this was definitely a modern piece that just had vintage vibes. So I was seeing that a lot with the plus size clothing. They had lots of accessories, but I was impressed with how the accessories were more curated and more of a kind of boho feel in a lot of the places. Not so much the bright 80s, but then again, they did have some of those kind of like vintage reproduction pieces that, kind of threw back to the older style. They were modern, but, they looked like the style of the older accessories. And there still was that kind of like bright 80s accessory stuff going on. So that was apparently still very popular, even though it wasn't my style. And I did find jewelry that I loved, y'all. So love this piece. Thought it would be really great for stacking. Also loved this Brutalist necklace. That was really great to see. So I was finding some older pieces I loved. They still had really strong 80s and 90s clothes, but I felt it was more highly curated. Like the pieces were harder to find 80s and 90s clothes, and they were very impressive on what they had found. Like, look at that. Y'all, if that would have been in my size, oh, I would wear that every day of my life. That is happiness in an outfit. I also liked the different curated home accessories they had here. Felt like the prices were pretty good for the items. They had some basic stuff, but they also had some cute different things all put together. It was nice to see all this glass. They had some Epoli there. I was struggling trying to show you the tag, y'all. But it was nice to see all this colored glass put together. It looked nice on the table. And then they did have some old frames. Nothing super excited me except for this. This was a display piece, a stand. I really liked this piece. So that really excited me. And I did pick that piece up and brought it home. I really love the patina on that mirror. Sorry about the reflection, folks. Not much I can do. It's a mirror. And I actually think it's older than I think. Looking at that velvet on the back, it might be older than I think, but I really like this piece. I then found some cute vintage hankies. Thought there's some really cute ones in there. I mean, look at that one. Look at all the work on that. That's really cute. And I brought that home. So this is in my home on display right now. Isn't that edge just adorable? I also grabbed this hanky for my red, white, and blue display. I thought the edge work on this was super cute, really unique, and looks great with my display. And I grabbed one more of these ladies. I thought it was just so fantastic, and it looks wonderful in my display at home. I then found a bunch of vintage gloves, and y'all know I use vintage gloves in my videos. So, really excited about that. Looked through them, tried them on to see which fit me best. And well, you guessed it, these ones. These are the ones I am wearing in the video. So I did bring these home. Have none in this color, and they are very stretchy and very comfortable. And I love the embellishments and beading on them. I thought they had some really great home decor. Here again is a whole basket of hankies. Some really great stuff, and I thought the prices were very fair on the items. So there really was some older vintage there in home decor. It wasn't just all 80s and 90s. There was, of course, the bright 80s vibes, but really there was a lot of boho and a lot of really fun finds to see. I really like how they took these and displayed the earrings on them. I thought that was a really cute idea. And this booth is a total vibe. Very tropical. Really loved it. Thought everything here was just styled really cute. And then I saw these candles and I was just humming and hawing about them forever. I was like, should I get them? They're really neat. I don't know. I don't know if just regular candles will sell. People like lucite. So I kind of hemmed and hawed about it. But I decided to bring them home because I had never seen candles like that before. I really loved the texture and the different colors, and I loved that they still had their original tags. I think these will be great for resale, and I am going to save these for a live sale at some point. And then here is a compilation of basically purses that I love there. Look at that one. Oof. That is almost the perfect purse, y'all. I really love that one. That was very tempting. Very, very beautiful purse. Super cute for a 30s or 40s outfit. I loved this purse. Oh, that emblem on there was so cute. Really, really cute. And this one, I love the style of this. I love the contrast of the red and blue. And I mean, it wasn't even that bad of a price. I like it. I like it a lot. And this one up here, oh, I almost took that one home. I don't think I would use it, and I don't need another purse that is just for display. It was nice to see throughout the market that there were plus size racks. It really was a trend throughout the market. It wasn't just like one vendor had plus size. There were multiple vendors that featured that, and it was highly curated stuff. There was some plus size that was beautiful vintage and not just modern that felt vintage. I mean, how cool is that? That is a really neat piece. So that was nice to see. It was nice that I could browse through racks and look for items in my size. I truly did appreciate that. And there was some just stunning vintage. Like, look at that piece. Wow, wow, wee wow, right? Very neat. They had a lot of really highly curated racks. I was really impressed with the really highly curated racks, but yet again, this one was organized by color. Look at this fun, like summer vibe happening up here on the second floor. Here's some older pieces, pretty fun to see. And here's some really older pieces. So this was really fun to see too. I definitely felt like this was more for show than anyone that really wanted to pick them up, but hey, I'm here for it. I think it's cool to see these old pieces out. And I thought the prices on them were very realistic. And it was neat to see them. So I appreciated that they brought these true antiques. Also, they did have $5 VINs, but as you can see, they are higher up, and someone who is differently abled would be able to go through them and look at items. So even some of the bins like this, the hampers were the lowest they went. Nothing was actually on the floor, and I felt was accessible for people who were differently abled. And there were records, y'all. Of course there were. There were lots and lots of records here. So they definitely had that. And they had my favorite jewelry. Now, this vendor is actually at the next market too, so you will see them in the next part of the video as well. And this vendor had really cool jewelry. They had some really stunning higher end pieces. I mean, look at that snake around the crystal. Woo! That's cool. Loved that piece. They also had some really nice glass, some Fenton pieces. I thought their items were priced really reasonably for how stunning and beautiful they were. Lots of jewelry I was really attracted to. Really pretty pieces, really pretty. They also had this 3 for 12 in the baggies, and honestly, they had some really good pieces in here, y'all. I was really impressed. Some damascene, yes, I'm here for that. This broken antique piece, what? I mean, they had some really good pieces in among these baggies, so you better believe it. I did some digging, y'all. I love a good deal when it comes to jewelry, and I took some pieces home. And here is one I took home. This is a Victorian Revival piece. Now, this is one of those fun rotator pieces. So one side is engraved like the stamp, and the other side is that fake jade. Really neat Victorian revival piece. Love this necklace. Great find in the 3 for 12. And then I found this broken brooch, and this is that old colored pastel plastic type stuff. Really love this piece. I'm going to use it for something. Great deal on what that is for the age. And then in the 3 for 12, she gave me this whole set, which I thought was really, really kind of her. And these are my favorite colors, and it is signed. So that is signed Lisner, which is really awesome. So, I mean, I got a set of my favorite colors signed Lisner. There was also, of course, Grail t shirts. You got those 80s and 90s t shirts that were very expensive. They also had those. So, they definitely did have that 80s and 90s going on. Lots and lots of t shirts. But there were still some, like this Keith Haring one. When you looked at the tags, it was obvious that this was actually a vintage reproduction, and this wasn't really from the 80s, 90s. This was more modern, even though it really read 80s and 90s when you looked at the tag and looked at the brand. So, and that is it for this vintage market. Okay, we are done in there. So the next time you're going to see me, we will be on our way to the next vintage market. Okay, it is a new day, y'all, and we are at Twin Cities Vintage Fest. And they are in an even bigger spot in the convention center now. So they're expanding, getting more vendors, getting more popular. That is really exciting to see that they are doing so well that they are expanding. And it sounds like they're even going to different states now and renaming the festival. So that's awesome. Really, everywhere, it was just sweatshirts and t-shirts. And like, I get that we're going into summer, but there was just so many t-shirts here. 90% of what I was looking at was t-shirts. And frankly, I consider a vintage t-shirt the easiest thing to thrift. So I just wasn't super excited about all of it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And the hard thing about grails is someone's grail might not be yours. You might not even know what some of these are. I mean, I think a lot of these are cool, but they're not my grails. They're very specific to that fandom. And that being said, I did find some really amazing t-shirts here. Look at those awesome old Van Halen tees. Those are really neat. Love The Nightmare Before Christmas. And y'all, I even found an Aerosmith tee. That t-shirt's over $200, guys. So pretty awesome. I have a really funny story with Wayne Static on his tour bus. Rest in peace, sir. This shirt brought back memories. They had, yeah, it was, you guys, it was just shirts upon shirts upon shirts. Some of those digger piles were in better array than just on the floor, but lots of them still were on the floor, not accessible to people who are differently abled. That was kind of disappointing. I really thought they would have picked that up and been, a little more inclusive and more professional by now about that. Denim was still king. Denim was absolutely everywhere at this show. So, must have been a very big seller for everyone. And they did have accessories and jewelry. So, check it out. I did find some cool old hankies. Those were very, very cute. Some very cute patterns there. And then they had a lot of like the 80s style jewelry, 80s and 90s. Some of these would be really fun for layering. Yeah, definitely a vibe. Definitely that like 80s tropical golden girl vibe happening. Gotta love Jim Morrison, right? And this is that same jewelry booth from before that we had seen at the other market. So they are here too. They have some cute things, cute things. I did go through their discount baggies. There just wasn't anything for me this time. They also had vendors that had a lot of old toys from the 80s and 90s. This was a bunch of like McDonald's toys, super nostalgic, kind of fun to see all those. I totally had those. But they also, they also did have some cool vintage in there, right? There is some older vintage pieces here. So, um I like that. I like that little bird up there. I think it's super cute. But yeah, there was some older vintage mixed in. Got your bluebird of happiness, which we all love, all mixed in with the 80s vibes. This booth, I found some really cute older things. I thought they had just some really cute stuff. I had those glasses growing up. I liked this purse. I actually don't own a true gray vintage purse, so I really liked that. Yeah, they had some cute things. Could fit into like boho decor. Love these kitties. All these different styling pieces. Those trays were all a really good deal. I thought they were priced really well. Those were really fun little statement items. I really like that. And in this booth, I picked up this. This is a gorgeous tray. Look at that. Look at the different kinds of fruits around the edge. Now, this tray is treasure craft, and I just love the green and blue color. There's the treasure craft mark. And yeah, I snagged this up and I will for sure be selling this on a live sale. And they did have older vintage. So as much as I'm just saying it was all t-shirts, which it mainly was, there is some curated vintage here too. So as you can see, there's some really cool old vintage. I mean, how fun is that piece, right? Like that's really stinking fun. And it's a great price. I loved this 80s sweater. Oh, so cute. If I could have fit into that, doesn't it just look like the fuzziest thing? Ugh, unicorn dreams, y'all. And here's some more curated vintage. I know someone who loves these type of white lace dresses, so we gotta go check those out. So there definitely was some curated vintage here, but it was more few and far between than at the other vintage market. But look at these racks. These are super funky, really neat pieces. That is a really cool shirt. Yeah, that is a Holy Grail t-shirt right there. That is really quite neat. Love all the funky colors, all the funky patterns. So this is the type of vintage that I would say is much harder to thrift, although none of this was really sorted by size. So I couldn't really tell if I could fit into anything or if there was anything on the racks for me, unfortunately. I really did not see any booths at this Twin Cities Vintage Fest that sorted stuff by size. So that was a little disappointing. Loved that. Whew. So good, right? So good. And I loved these. This booth did a lot of like upcycling and painting. And don't you just want to curl up in that? Oh my Lord. That is the most adorable thing ever. It is so inspiring to me. That was pretty cute, the little flamingo. But this was such a great booth. They had really neat clothing that was artwork. And y'all, there were lots and lots of records. So there were more records here, or at least it was spaced out more, and it probably had to do with just the space of the event. Much more space here. They had that record bus as before. Pretty darn cute. People were going in and out. Fun fact, this is the first CD I ever had. And it's kind of weird seeing your teenage bedroom being a photo prop that the cool kids are checking out. So, yeah, y'all, it's really weird seeing my bedroom in here. But hey, that's what the cool kids are doing. And speaking of cool kids, y'all, one sick kitten. Look it.
We are here in the vintage market.
Oh,
we are united.
Twin Cities creators. So I am gonna link them below. Oh. So you have to go check them out. I also did an unboxing, so I'll link that somewhere up here from her Depop store. And they're both Depop sellers. So go check them out. It was so nice to meet other creators.
So nice to meet you.
So check them out. Totally different vibe than me, but really fun. Y'all, it was really cool to run into fellow creators. They are the cool kids. They do such a great job with their channel. I can't talk them up enough. So, super duper entertaining channel. And this is a super duper entertaining place here. So, just checking all this fun stuff out. Oh my gosh, look, there's just so much fun nostalgia here. I really, really love all of this. Well, hello, sir, the king. Just as I was about to leave, I passed the only booth that I saw any plus size racks on. So I guess there was one. And it is this booth right here. We had a talk about how body inclusivity is just not something happening at this festival. So I had a really nice chat with them, and plus size vintage is something that they are going to focus on for their business, which makes a heck of a lot of sense. And that is the end of this trip. And that is it. We are done. So what did y'all think? Which vintage market did you like the best? Leave it down in the comments. Let me know. I obviously liked the first one the best, the Minneapolis Vintage Market. It had more for me that I like to pick up, but I still found that amazing treasure craft piece at the Twin Cities Vintage Fest. And I also really love the energy at that one. I really love the energy. I really love seeing so many people. I love that they have so many vendors, just the popularity of it, the booths, the excitement, the photo ops. Like, I just think they do a really good job to get excitement there. One thing I will mention is at Twin City Vintage Fest, there were a lot of vendors that were businesses owned by people of color. And I'm here to see a Black-owned business. So that was really exciting to me. I did think the Minneapolis Vintage Market was more size inclusive. I saw more sizing around, so I could definitely find things that were in my size. As compared to Twin City Vintage Fest, they still really lack in that way. But, you know, it is what it is. It's different generations and their priorities. I will have to say, out of all of this, though, my favorite moment was getting to meet Brooke and Nico from One Sick Kitten. They are such amazing creators. They recently had their original channel pulled down from YouTube. They used a copyright-free song in their videos that the person changed the stipulations of the song. They changed it to copyrighted instead of free to use, and so they actually got their channel pulled from YouTube. So they've been doing YouTube videos for 2 years. They're really good content. They do a great job editing. They're amazing resellers, and it's so great to meet people who are making content to talk about vintage, to show that secondhand isn't second place. It's great, you know. And so I was really excited to just get to say hi to them. I wish I could say we were besties, but probably not. And remember, their links will be below, okay? So One Sick Kitten, I'll link that below. But it was just really nice to meet another creator that focuses on sustainable fashion and sustainable items. And that is it, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video. So if you like vintage, thrifting, creative content, and more, this is the channel for you. Please subscribe and ring the bell. You voted for this video. You wanted me to do a battle of the vintage markets. And I hope you found it interesting. So stay creative, y'all. Bye.